Alright, welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. We are right outside of Sen's Fortress, which is a big, scary place. Over here, and we have to get there to get to Enorlando because of what some worm told us. I don't know. There's a couple other things we could do right now, but to make things easier, we're just going to go here because this will lead us to the next major area. And all the other stuff we can do right now is optional and doesn't actually help us do anything. So, well, it will help us do stuff later. So, we were told that this is a house of traps and danger. Right here we can see that there's kind of a raised platform on the floor. And at the end there, you can't see it, but there's some holes in the stairs that if we step on that, will make some darts come out. And here we see the major enemies of the area, these snake men. If I step on that trap, they get shot. And these are some of the biggest enemies that you can actually backstab, which is the easiest way of dealing with them. There are some later that are spellcasters, and they're particularly dangerous, especially on some of the platforms we're going to be seeing. The sword they have is pretty damn good, but we're probably not going to be using it. So we get another soul there. And somebody just fell into a hole. These statues here look pretty familiar. Yeah, kind of like those black knights, don't they? Although they're not black, and they're wearing dresses. I mean, if that's what the Black Knight wants to do, I mean, let's not judge him. Okay, so here we have these swinging guillotine things, pendulums, with a bunch of cages on the side. Now, below us is one of the reasons I went to get the rusted iron ring, is that there's some water below us that is... Yeah, there we go. There's the lightning guys. He's up there on the bridge right there. There's usually one right here, right in front of the thing, but he fell off. Okay. So here we've got an enemy who's on the bridge here. Unfortunately, I don't have a bow or anything like that that I can actually use effectively. I'm having a hard time locking onto him, so we're gonna have to do this the hard way. To deal with these, because they're using lightning attacks, we'll use the Eagle Shield, because the Eagle Shield is much better against lightning. Here, we'll go ahead and demonstrate the efficacy. There we go. That's pretty good. Now the key here with these pendulums is just to know the patterns. Here we got another trap right in front of the door here, and I managed to roll up this thing. I almost get myself stuck there. Okay, so I don't have... I could have knocked it off with Wrath of the Gods. What the hell's wrong with me? We'll save that for later. Here's some Titanite shards. You can see the trap right there that I rolled past. You can use these traps for killing the enemies, and it works pretty well. Or at least hurting the enemies. So down in this room, we can see that there's some stairs that go down for, seems like very little reason, but there's this staircase that goes up you can't actually get to. Sometimes, this guy right here you can do a thing to, and it will kind of circumvent this. But it's very uncommon that you'll actually get him to do it, so, and it didn't happen there. So we'll be coming back to this room later. Okay. Oh. Well. I'm sure you can hear that sound, and judging from what we just saw, you can guess what that is. Let's take a look here. Up the stairs. Yep. Rolling boulder. So the easiest thing to do here to avoid them is just to, whoa, follow the track down and go over here. And there's a bunch of dead guys over here already. One could assume either that they were killed by the boulders, or that this man here has dispatched them.
Oh ho! Ah, where did you come from? Splendid news, I tell you.
What's splendid news?
Ah, so you see my plight. Yes, indeed. I've run up against a wall, or a ball to be precise. I must say, I'm a bit too tough to be outrunning those things. So here I sit in quite a pickle, but who knows? Perhaps we'll have another development.
Well, he's quite the optimist. Okay, one of the things we want to do here, I want to equip my Ring of the Evil Eye, because we've been taking quite a bit of damage from some of these incidental thingies over here. It's, whoa. It's pretty silly to try to block these things, so don't do it. It will not work. So. There we go. There's a fog door here and another one of those. I believe these are the female snakes. They look like cobras with 4 arms. I don't know what the deal is there. Let's go ahead and show off Soul Arrow. We're going to be using the Ulasil Ivory Catalyst. Oh, looks like the ball has taken care of it for us, at least for now. Oh, I got grabbed. Those kind of attacks are usually difficult or impossible to block. Okay. Ooh, it dropped something. I think that was always the sword. Yeah, the Flamberg. Let's take a look at it. I can't use it because I don't have enough dexterity. And it's got weird scaling for a greatsword. It's a dexterity greatsword that causes bleeding. Not very strong. As far as just pure physical damage, compared to some of the other great swords we have. It might be... Well, the Claymore is upgraded, so... I think it's slightly weaker than the Claymore. So, in here we've got a treasure chest. And inside the treasure chest is a really good item, the Ring of Steel Protection. Which is something you can use here to avoid taking some damage from the traps. It basically just increases your defense against physical attacks. And we haven't taken any damage, so we might as well equip it. The Night King Rendall. So, if we look, our defenses are 291 to 320. If we take this off, yeah, so it's about a 50-point difference. Not quite. More of a 30-point difference. Idiot. I don't know. Math. It might do different things to different stats. I just kind of looked at the rounder numbers. We'll wear it anyway. See how much it helps. So for some more of those knights here. And as you can see here, there's actually a trap in the doorway. Let's lure this guy out into here. He didn't hit the trap. Well, that's fine. Ah, mistimed that. I like doing the jump attacks because you can't parry those. I don't think these guys will even parry, so. It did a lot of damage. Now, did you hear that creaking sound? That's one of the mechanics of this area, is when you move to certain places, it will change the way the metal balls are rolling. Or, I don't know if they're metal, stone balls. Balls made of something. So you need to watch where you're going. And you can see there's another set of, I guess, tracks here. Okay. So once we get up here, we want to roll off down here to access this area. And you can't really see that from up above that well, but you can see it if you stop on the stairs, which is a really stupid idea, because you will get smooshed. So in here we see this cell which leads down to another area. But not necessarily a cell, but a window and a door over here. Travel along here. And here we pick up black sorcerer gear and the sorcery hush, which allows us to move without being seen or heard, rather. Vinheim Dragon School secretly work with sound-based spells and never reveal themselves. If you look at this stuff, this is actually what Griggs is wearing back at Firelink Shrine. Interesting, to say the least. One of the things with the time distortion that I was kind of getting into with the area over by Dusk is that oftentimes it implies that you're meeting these characters at some other point in time, and you'll often find which could be interpreted to be their corpses lying around. I just opened a shortcut here. So you can you could infer from some of these that the flow of time being strange for you and other people is the kind of thing Solaire was talking about. So this elevator here is quite interesting. If we look up, we can see that there's a bunch of spikes on the ceiling, and if we see here, it kind of stops and goes up. And the elevator itself is covered in blood. We don't necessarily want to be going there just yet, but just remember that for later. We can skip a significant portion of this area by doing that. So here we're on another one of those tracks, and here we can see that room with the snake in it we killed earlier. So evidently we can in fact get a ball to roll down here. To do so we have to run up here, which is the area that the balls are coming from. To basically change the way the balls are rolling, we have to turn this lever to the direction that we want the ball to go. And then of course we want to move it away from that direction so as to not hit ourselves while we're down there. So, since we're going to backtrack here anyway, let's go ahead and check it out. I see the dead guy right here. Actually, no, this is yeah, this is the right one. So in here, we see a man with a big hat. I wonder who he is.
You seem quite lucid. A rare thing in these times. I am Logan. I'm a bit cooped up, as you can see. I have a bright idea. Suppose you set me free. I'm old and empty-handed, but I could repay you with knowledge and sorcery. This place is melting my mind. The inactivity is repressive.
Unfortunately, we don't actually have... Oh. We've got the master key, which allows us to do this, but we don't have a key normally to do this, so... Oops.
Oh, heavens. Thank you. I'm safe. And I'd love to resume my travels. But I must log a few things first, and I owe you a favor. I will return to Farley Shrine. Speak with me then, so that I may impart my sorcery.
He probably won't talk to us because our intelligence isn't high enough. But he might. I think the limit might be 16. There's a key you get for these later. And I think there are some of these that... Oh, and here we get a soul of a hero. This gives you 10,000 souls. And I thought that the master key didn't open them, but I guess it does. Okay. So let's kind of backtrack a little bit. The Ring of Steel Protection is really, really good if you are wearing light armor. Because oftentimes they have really good magical defenses, but very lackluster or non-existent physical defenses. So, and the bonus it gives you versus having to wear something like Hobble's Ring or something like that can be pretty significant. Especially if you're wanting to wear something else. So let's go out. That's what happens when you're hit with one of those, and it staggers you for quite a bit. So let's get out of the way there. I'll follow this down and see where it goes. And here it goes to the end of this thing, and we can get out of the way here. As you can see, it's going down in this hole. Let's find out what that's about. Well, it looks like it's starting to fill up. Okay, let's wait until it's all filled up. There's a passage this way, but let's just keep watching to see what's going to happen here. This is one of the reasons I like this place so much, is that it's very dynamic. Once you get past the kind of pattern recognition of the traps, it becomes a much more fun place. So now we are above the area we were before. Ooh. Okay, that wasn't a good plan. Let's avoid standing where the balls can hit us. Okay. And they go down here, which is to nothing. I'm not gonna go down that way. I'm gonna get trapped and killed if I do that. And I'm gonna get hit twice by the ball. Great job. But what we picked up there was the covetous gold serpent ring. Probably one of the best items in the game, because what it does is it boosts your item discovery. Now take a look at our item discovery right now. It's at 100. We don't have any humanity. Humanity gives us 50, right? 50 more. This gives us 300 item discovery, and the most you can get from humanity, I think, is 150 extra. So this is 400 or 450, I don't remember, total. It's really, really good. Is there any items here that I particularly want? Probably not. So we'll stick with this Ring of Steel Protection for now. But later on, if we ever want to farm items, it's going to be invaluable for us. So going up that way is suicide. Let's go this way. And here we see a treasure chest. Notice something strange about the treasure chest. It's moving. Another thing to note is that the chain is pointed forward. This is a mimic. Mimics are enemies. Spoiler, it's an enemy. That if you interact with it while it's inactive like this, it will eat you. I'm not going to get eaten by this one because it would make me have to walk back through Sen's Fortress. There's other mimics that are more convenient to be eaten by, so we will avoid doing that. So one of the easiest ways to do this is to just kind of dumbfire your spells. I missed. using my boar tusks as crosshairs there. And then once we can lock in on it. And it has a bunch of really funny moves. Like that football punt there. It hits you, deals lots of damage. And it's got that grab there. And there's another way of dealing with these things I'll show off later, but for defeating that we get the lightning spear, which is the first enchanted weapon I believe that you can find in the game, unless you kind of go out of your way to get the Astora's straight sword, or make one yourself, which is obviously an option. This is a lightning weapon. It means I don't have to make a lightning weapon, but it has no scaling. It's just a normal spear. Let's try it out. So one of the things to note is that since I have a great shield and a spear, I'm pretty well protected, and I can do things very defensively here. Now, remember this? This is that elevator we were looking at before. So now it'll take us up to this room, and it will try to smoosh us on the ceiling. So there we go. So we've gone full circle here now. So let's continue on. Do I want to jump down in that one area now? I'm trying to remember which way I want to go at this point. Oh right, this is that area. Okay, I might as well go this way, since it's kind of an area you can't get back from, and I'd rather not do this later. We're now on the top of the main area that we came into at the entrance. And there's some items over there. Notably now though, we can look down into these places. And there's a lot of like platforms you can fall on, and it'll break your fall, and so you can avoid getting hit. I can't look down far enough over there. It's too hard to see down there then. So here we get the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring, which is a very, very, very cool item. This place has lots of good stuff in it. Lightning spears, Slumbering Dragon Crest rings, gold rings. Lots of good stuff. Secretly warned by a certain surreptitious sorcerer at the Vinheim Dragon School. And we wear it. We don't make any noise. And this is basically a permanent hush spell. Very, very good if you're wanting to sneak up on people. Let's use it for the rest of the dungeon, I guess. Or at least until we get to a certain point. Now, I actually have to jump down here. But, basically want to determine... There, you can see it now. There is a Titanite demon down there. And an item. We'll be getting that later. After we unlock a certain thing. You see, I don't even make noise when I roll. So the easiest way to do this is just to drop down right here. And then continue back through the level. One of the hardest things the first time you do this is these pendulums. I know where the gaps are kind of, you know, instinctively, but one of the easiest ways I found to do it is just to kind of look sideways so you can see the gaps. And then just kind of work with it that way. So you can see like the little rogue face on the side there. Now, something I don't know is if it will actually change these balls because they can't hear you. And it looks like that's the case. I've never... Oh no, they're changing it now. Okay, so let's get this item then. The Shotel. We have seen an NPC that uses the Shotel, but we haven't seen him do it. Where'd Siegmeyer go? Interesting. You know what? I think it is still in the same position because I haven't been hearing that creaking sound. There we go. Okay. That kind of metal squeak. Okay, so we want to go up the stairs here. There's an easier way to do that, which we've already done. But I just kind of want to show going up this way. It's quite difficult. But we managed to get up there just in time. If you're like wearing a heavier set of armor, it's quite difficult. So, we look down the different corridors, we can see that we've basically been to all but one of them. And that this way basically goes to that one area we just were, the first area. Over here is the area that leads down to those dragon guys, or the snake guys. And over here leads to nowhere. And there's some kind of snake lady shooting beams of lasers at me. And this is headed in the direction that we already were. There is a way to deactivate this, but not from this room. So here's another trap here. Just roll under it. Okay. Let's take a look around. So we've got another pendulum room. As with many of them, this one has kind of its own gimmick here. And this one's gimmick is that the stuff is all like front-loaded. So just go past it. Now let's see how effective this spear is against these baddies. Now the spear is quite fast. And the shield here will block quite a bit of enemies' attacks, but it doesn't have a 100% physical block. Oh, right. So you gotta be careful about that. The reason I'm using it is for lightning block. So you can fight pretty defensively just turtling behind your shield, and it works pretty well. I must say. It's not really my style. I'm a bit more of an aggressive player. And on these people... it's not necessarily that effective. But here you see you can do a lot of combos, a lot of hits in a combo, and just take them down pretty quickly if you get the drop on them. The strong attack for a spear is just a really big thrust, and some of the other spears have different ones like that. I blocked it, but you can't use your shield while you're doing that. Now, something to note, the normal rules for blocking attacks still applies with a shield, and you regenerate your stamina very slowly while attacking and blocking at the same time. But you see how this is kind of deflecting their attacks. Do you remember when I attacked the Iron Tusk or whatever that thing is called, the boar in the parish? It would deflect my attacks off while it would still deal damage. This is kind of the same effect, and all great shields kind of do. Okay, I think that's enough of the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring. This is extremely useful at various points in the game. Let's equip that Serpent Ring, I guess, for a while. See, we've already got a Flanbird, which is what the female, I guess, snake people, serpent people drop. But the males can actually drop their weapon as well. So this one's a bit tougher because there's this jerk over here. Well, we can fight lightning with lightning here. It's not that big a deal. And our lightning kung fu is stronger. So this is a very narrow platform here. Another way of knowing where the things are is to look at them from above, and so you can kind of see the gaps. This one's a bit harder because the beam is directly over our head. So it's harder to see, but there's actually a gap between these two sets. And then you just keep going. There are two traps, one here and one here. I just want to avoid them. And then right here, there's a shortcut that goes down. And over here is where the baddie was, but there's nothing over here. This is useful for getting to places later. Like when you're going back down. Here we have a fog door. Let's go up to the fog door. Now, I only have 3 Estus flasks left, but I got some humanity if I need some emergency healing. So as you can see now, we are actually outside, on top of the fortress. If we look around, we can see, well, the obvious over there, that giant. And down here, and there's somebody throwing bombs up there. I didn't think he would activate from coming down here. Down here we can see our old friends, the Baldur's Knights. Now, I don't know how this area relates to Night King Rendal, but we have found items related to him already. Now, one of the reasons I equipped the Gold Serpent Ring is because these guys have some really interesting items that they drop. Their armor set's pretty crappy, but they have a lot of other stuff. Plus, they drop a lot of souls. And these are the guys... These are one of the few guys in the fortress that will actually give you liquid humanity points. I looked that up, and it's a bit more complex than I thought it was. These guys, and there's a Baraneki Knight further up that also gives you some points. And these all respawn. So, oh, here we go, and get a Titanite shard. And over here we get an item in this box. A flame stone plate ring. These flame stone plate ring, sort of a... Well, it's kind of the same thing as a ring of steel protection, only for fire. We saw the poison and bleed ones that, what's his name had? Oswald sells them, the Pardoner. We didn't pick that up, and it's kind of a belated thing now, since we already did the poison area, but I probably should have gotten that. There's an item down there, but it doesn't look like we can get to it. Some kind of dead dude who got blowed up. So, can we see him from here? There he is. There he is. Man chucking bombs. Okay. That's interesting. So let's equip that fire resistance ring, shall we? As a matter of fact, let's equip a full fire resistance set, which I am carrying around partially for this purpose. And I might as well put something else in the hovel ring slot. Let's use what do I want to use here? I guess the poise ring? And the Black Knight shield. You can't actually block this attack, but... Okay, what we want to do here is wait for it to do that, and then once the fire finishes, you want to run to the stairs that are on the other side there. The problem here is timing when the flames go out. And there's another thing we want to do. Before that, we want to roll off this ledge and go down here, because there's a bonfire, which makes our lives much easier. Much, much easier.